Welcome to Williams Crawford. Today I want to show you a very special car. It's one of my all-time favourites, probably in the top 5. It holds quite a few secrets that I want to sort of show you around today. Yeah. We bought this car as a project car, complete and untouched 1971. But before any of you criticise that the rivet isn't in exactly the right place, or the screw has a slightly different colour or something like that, let me explain the concept behind it. The concept was to showcase what we could do here at Williams Crawford. We've got a restoration department and we've got our normal maintenance. And this particular 911 we created to make the appearance exactly authentic to its 1971, exactly the way it rolled out the factory in 1971 as a 911T. However, I wanted to have something that was nicer to drive, more refined, better to use, and that's what we've got here. I'll show you how we went about the build. The concepts are easy to come up with, really. It's the actual hard work to bring it to this reality. So what we started with was a classic 911, all the normal problems, and from there we've got to take it apart. So body disassembly gets done in the restoration. We record everything, and we decide what we're going to replace, restore, or reuse. And in this case, we're sort of only reusing the basic components. We take the body and send that to a media blaster to get rid of all the corrosion on it, and also to expose any weak areas, because metal sort of like gradually gets thinner and thinner, and the media blasting will expose that. Then we take the body to our metal fabrication expert, Paul. And Paul replaces all the damaged metal, puts new floors in it, sills, kidney bowls, and little patches on small areas, which are done so beautifully you would never know that it wasn't an original piece of metal. It's a real skill. We've placed the car on a jig to make sure that the car is straight and that it remains straight during the course of the metal fab, because you're taking such a lot of metal out and putting more metal in that it's really important. You want your bare bones to be really good. And this is one of the areas that people cut corners, but special attention is given to the things that bolt into the body. So before it goes to the paint shop, it seems like this. It's like the way that this lamp fits into the aperture here. It's totally accurate. So we've sort of, if you like, we've dry fitted that before the body goes out for prep. If you look at the panel alignment, all the way around the car, this is done extremely accurately. And in fact, more accurate and consistent than the factory would have managed back in 1971. So just take a look along the bottom of the doors to where the sills are. It's absolutely dead straight and square. Even the radius on the edges of the panels is consistent. And this is something, again, that's sort of just gives the car the accuracy and the sharpness that you see here. And it's real attention to detail. And that's what we're able to do here. It's the body is a world-class job. So what we'll end up with is the body in metal fab being worked on. That'll take months and months and months and months. And then it goes out for paint. Meanwhile, all the rest of the components we're beginning to get ready. This car's got a matching numbers engine, so it's the original engine for the car, the same as the original gearbox for the car, but here the secrets start. Inside the engine we've improved the oil circulation, we completely disassembled the engine, we checked everything. We've improved the oil circulation and improved the performance. So this particular one, this isn't a hot rod, this is a car to use and enjoy on the road. So we increased the power, but more importantly the torque of it. Modern carburation, modern ignition, and this car's gone up to a 2.4, but from under the engine bay it looks completely original, even the decals and everything. So we've got our own in-house engine expert, Harry. He just works day to day on engines and transmissions. Sometimes it's 997, sometimes it's E, sometimes it's 356. And then he applies some of the modifications to get a bit more horsepower out of them. Another key component that takes a long time to get right is the Fuchs wheels. Now these are the original wheels. They look like brand new, and that's the way they should look when they've come back from refurbishment. And they're really, really difficult to get right. So a little Anavaki fact is that to get this line right around here, the factory would have originally sort of dipped the wheel in, and this would have been, if you like, the tide mark. And that's the process that's been reused. The wheels have been cleaned back, re-anodized, which is a long process, and then the black done in exactly the same process to the factory. And it's very, very rare to see them done so well. So 100% happy with that. Sat on nice period Pirelli Cinturatos. And then inside, the other thing that takes a long time are things like the instrumentation. Now this is custom instruments that are in the style of the originals. So what I'm trying to show is that we build up all these different components, and we do most of this stuff in-house. And it could apply to your modern, you know, we can restore a 993 or a 996 or a 997, or change the colour of your KN or the interior of your KN. Frankly, it'd be much easier than doing something like this. So wheels is one thing. We also will have all the suspension components apart, the brakes we'll refurbish, replace, refinish, and have all that ready for when the shell comes back. The bare shell comes back looking like brand spanking new. And on this car we've chosen British Racing Green. It might look black on your screen, but it's actually the darkest dark green. The planning part of it is important because this isn't a 100% original car, so any additional wiring or changed components, we've got to pre-plan that and build them into the wiring loom, which is the next step. The wiring harness, so we'll either change it or modify it to accommodate these new things. And then there's still a little bit more clever stuff. So just take a look inside. So this car is gorgeous. We wanted it more comfortable. We wanted it more elegant, and it needed to feel luxurious. So we've used the very best quality leather, a dark brown with a black dash top, beautiful black carpets, all custom made, and then the modern Recaro seats, which factory would never have even thought of back in the day. Well, even down here, Andy, the correct paint code tag for British Racing Green, and it's actually a colour that wasn't available at that point in time. So we've restyled the interior in the same fashion or the same sort of styling architecture as Porsche might have used. The seats are beautiful. What I like is that we've used the best trimmer Now in Germany they call it a saddler, and it's just look at the stitches, how accurate everything is, how sharp it is. It is beautiful. It's very difficult to achieve. And then the interior holds one other little secret, and that's it's got ice cold aircon in it. It's electric aircon that we've installed behind the dashboard. We've done quite a few of these. It works really well in the classic 911s, but we've also put it in a right-hand drive Ferrari Dino as well without damaging the car. It's a better system than gas aircon, and it's definitely the way forward for something like this. So the next stage of this, if you're not already too bored by this, is that we've got a complete built-up car that then moves to the main workshop. We do the corner balancing in there. People don't really understand what that is sometimes, but it's making sure that each wheel of the car has got the right amount of weight distributed on it. And on a 911 with not so much weight in the front and no ABS brakes, it really makes a difference. And it's the key to making these cars handle well. Then we've got a Hunter four-wheel alignment rig, which is the best we can, you could find. And then we've adjusted this car like we can your car to individual preferences or use. So we've done all the toe caster camber, done the wheel alignment, done the corner weighting, and getting all the ride height just right. Then the car goes out and has an inspection with the main workshop and a final test, MOT, and that's it. That's boom. Apart from, I get to road test it. And that's the best part of the job. Obviously, I'm doing all the hard work. I go out and do 100 miles with it, or a couple hundred miles. I can tell you that this is definitely one of my top 5. It's a beautiful thing to drive. It's so far ahead of what it would have been in 1971. And I just love the concept of being able to choose my own 911. So it's something we offer here. We offer world-class restorations. We'll do any of the bits of work that I mentioned, whether it's a little bit of corrosion in your classic car, or whether you want your 997 to go a bit faster, or your turbo to perform better or handle better, or you want to build your own Porsche. Then you can choose your colours, your finishes, your performances, everything. And if you can afford to do that, what a great, great pleasure. It's what I would do. If I get myself to that point where I could go out and say, I want a new Porsche, I'm going to come here and have one built.